This video goes through exercise 22.2 questions 1e, 2e and then 3 to 6. In 1e we have to find the length of the line joining the point D, which is minus 6 minus 8, to E, which is minus 2 minus 4. So here I would use the technique of sketching, and these are negative, so I'm going to put them in the negative quadrant. D is minus 6 minus 8 down there, and E is minus 2 minus 4, which would be there. So here is the line segment DE. Its length can be found by forming a triangle, and we can say then that DE squared, the hypotenuse squared, is the sum of the squares on the shorter two sides. So the shorter side, this one here, is from minus 6 to minus 2, which is a distance of 4. So that would be 4 squared. And the other short side runs from minus 4 to minus 8, so its distance is also 4. So we get then that DE squared is 16 plus 16, which is 32. So DE is the square root of 32, and that gives 5.6622 decimal places. Question 2e is to find out the midpoint of the line joining J, which is minus 2 minus 1, to K, which is 3 minus 1. If I was to draw these, J is at minus 2 minus 1, and K is at 3 minus 1. And that's sort of a special case. That one's not maybe a great example to go through. Anyway, I'll go through it. That's your line. The middle of that line is the average x over the average y. So the midpoint, what's the average x value? Well, the first one's 3 and the other one's minus 2. If you add them together, you get 1, and half of 1 is half. The y value, well, the y value doesn't change. It's minus 1 and the other one's minus 1. So the middle of that's still going to be minus 1. If you follow the formula, minus 1 plus minus 1 is minus 2, and half of minus 2 is minus 1. But obviously, if you go into the middle of this line vertically, the middle of minus 1 is still minus 1. Horizontally, there's a bit more to do there. We get to the half for the answer. On to number 3. The midpoint of the line joining the points A, 0.5, and B is M13. Find the coordinate of the point B. So it's a bit of a back to front question. We're told that A is 5, 0, which would be here, and M is 1, 3, which would be, say, here, 1 and 3. That's the midpoint. B then is going to be, if that's the middle, it's going to be over here somewhere. Don't know exactly where, we'll try and work that out. Point B. We've got to find the coordinates of that. Well, let's look at the x coordinate. Let's call B x1, y. Just x and y might be as easy. X, y, because we don't know what they are. So let's think about how do we get the midpoint normally. We would get the average of the x values. So we'd get the 5, the x for the first point, and the x for B, which we're calling x, and we divide that by 2. And when we divide that by 2, we get 1 as the midpoint for the x value. So 5 and a point here, we're just calling it x. When we add them together and divide by 2, we get 1. So before dividing by 2, if we multiply both sides by 2, we would get 5 plus x is 2. And if you take 5 from both sides, you would get x is minus 3, which makes sense with the diagram. We have this point in the negative quadrant. So the x value is negative 3. Let's repeat this for the y values. To get the to get the midpoint for the y values, you would add the y values, which are The y value for this one is 0. And the y value for this one is y. And when you half them, you get the midpoint y value of 3. So if we times both sides by 2, we would get 0 plus y, or y, equals 6. So that gives the answer that B would be -3, 6. So that question, write the formula for midpoint for the x value, do the same for the y value, and then you need to label your B as unknown letters x and y. Question 4. A circle has center 1, 1 and radius 5. Does the point with coordinates -3, 4 lie on the circumference of the circle? Probably makes no sense at the minute. So let's try and draw that. Center 1, 1 and the radius is 5. So it goes down to roughly, let's say down to here. If that's 1, it would go down as far as -4, and then it's a circle like so. So how does that help us? Well, we know that anywhere from the center to the circumference is a distance of 5. They tell you in the question the radius is 5. So if you go out in any direction to any point on the circumference, the radius, that distance should be 5. So if the distance from 1, 1 to the point they talk about, which is -3, 4, if that distance is 5, then I've drawn that correctly. It's on the circumference, it's on the circle. If it's not 5, it means, if it's shorter than 5, it means it's inside the circle. If it was a number longer than 5, it would be outside the circle. So we need to work out what the length of this line that I've drawn in is. So to do that, you need to have a triangle. Remember, it goes from -3, and this one's 4. So how long is that line? Well, let's call that the hypotenuse. So h squared equals, from -3 to 1 is a distance of 4. So 4 squared. And then going up from 1 up to 4 is a distance of 3. So 3 squared. You can maybe see this is going if you know your Pythagorean triples. You get h squared is 25, so h is 5. So if the distance from the center to -3, 4 is 5, it must be on the line, because on the line, on the circumference, is always 5 away from 1, 1. So the answer is yes. Okay, question 5. A triangle has coordinates 2, 2, 2, 6 and 5, 1. Before going any further, I'm just going to sketch that out. 2, 2, 2, 6 and 5, 1. Even by sketching out, you might have an idea of what you think about the triangle already. By finding the lengths of all of the 3 sides, determine the type of triangle. Well, I can do this one pretty easily. It's vertical, should be anyway, from 2, 2 to 2, 6. That's a distance of 4. I need to know how long this line is and this line here. If they're the same distance, it will be an isosceles triangle. If one's bigger than the other, well, it depends. This could be 4, and this could be 4. It could be equilateral. It could be anything for now. I've got my ideas of what it is, but we really, to clarify and to prove, and even if you know what the answer is, to prove in a test or something, you need to work out the length of these lines. Remember, this point here, I haven't marked it on yet, is 5 and then 1. Let's label those sides just to help us out. Let's call them P and Q. So if I'm working out the length of P squared is going to be, well, there's lots of different triangles in here. It might be awkward to see. You've got this little triangle here and a right angled one, and we have this short side from 1 to 2, so it's a distance of 1, so 1 squared. And this is the distance from 2 to 5, which is 3, so 3 squared. So p squared is 1 plus 9, p squared is 10, so p, I'm just going to write that as the square root of 10, is easier. What about q? Well, q is part of this larger right angled triangle. So this distance here is from 1 to 6, which is 5. So q squared, the hypotenuse squared, is the short side 5 squared, plus the other short side squared, it's from 2 to 5, which is 3. So 3 squared. So we get q squared is 25 plus 9, q squared is 34, and q is the root of 34. Now we know all three sides. This one, root 10, this one, root 34, and this one's 4. They're all different lengths, so that means it's a scaling triangle. Question 6, last one. Question 6, we have a triangle has coordinates -4, 3, -4, 5, and 1, 5. We sketch that -4, 3, -4, 5, and 1, 5. Join them up. Now my scale might not be very good. Let me see. It runs from 3 to 5, a distance of 2, and runs from -4 to 1, distance of 5. That seems okay. Right, what's next? Prove a triangle has those coordinates. Prove that the triangle is right angled. Okay, this is a useless question. I'll tell you not to bother doing it in Google Classroom. It has to be a right angled triangle. This is a vertical line, this is horizontal. If I was normally to prove something is a right angled triangle, you would work out that Pythagoras theorem works, as in 2 squared plus 5 squared gives you the length of this line squared. However, if you're working out the length of this line, you would literally use the 5 and the 2 already. So that's a poor question. You can ignore that one.